Welcome back, friends. My name is Taylor Pace, and we're going to be talking about how to be angry and loud in an unsafe space. This is the Rainbow Wire Survival Guide. Imagine with me for a second that you were a circuit and that your emotions are kind of like the electrical current that runs through that circuit. Anger is an electrical current, an emotional current that can be pretty strong. And I think a lot of people who are born in Utah probably have been born in some sort of context that has framed anger as a problem or like a bad thing. I would like to reframe and maybe challenge your belief of anger for a second. Anger is an emotion that usually shows up when we feel like things are being unfair or we feel like there's been mistreatment. Anger is, I think, a very misunderstood emotion because so many of us think that it's bad. Here's the thing. I'm just gonna be straight up with you. A lot of shitty things have happened to queer people over the years. You should be angry about the way that people have treated you. It would be a pro-social response for you to be upset and frustrated and enraged about the fact that you've experienced abuse in some way, whether that's on an individual level, on like a community level, on a federal level. It's okay to be angry at the fact that someone's mistreating you. I think that needs to be so forefront in your mind. The thing that I think most people don't get taught, maybe here in Utah, is what to do with that anger, because much like an overcharged circuit will burst, we can do the same with our emotional currents. So let me be blunt. Be angry and then go do something about it. Like, figure out how to process it, get clear on what this anger means to you, figure out your values, find your boundaries, whatever. But at a certain point in time, Sabina from the Out Foundation did an interview for us for the Long Way from Heaven. She talked about how she alchemized her anger into doing something for her community, for the people that she considered family.
Like, the reason that we've been able to push the needle like so much further is because of the anger and fuel that these people have.
That's going to be the force that will likely persistently keep us doing the things that we need to be doing to fight the fight that we need to fight. So yeah, you're angry. You have good reason to be. And I'm not trying to be critical. I'm not trying to say you haven't done enough with your anger. I'm giving you permission. Go do more. What I am not saying is that you need to figure out how to like calcify it and then do something with it. What I am saying is learn how to be friends with your anger, learn how to have a relationship with your anger, learn to feel it, learn to validate it, learn to let it take up space. Because you've probably spent a lot of time thinking that your anger has been unreasonable or invalid, but feel it, give yourself that space, process it. You have plenty of reason to be angry about it. I don't think you should continue to enclose it. I think you should give it the space and attention it deserves, because you have been mistreated. That's just the reality of the fact. In a lot of ways, it's abuse. So don't think that not being angry is somehow the better path. The path to healing goes through a relationship with your anger, becoming a friend with your anger in some way. Let that anger be there without it being bad. Be angry when someone's abusive towards you. That's wrong. The biggest thing I wish to express to people who are in spaces that have privilege is I think that they could use it a little bit more. One of the harder things about being an advocate was that it feels kind of uncomfortable to use privilege sometimes, because you don't want to feel like you know better than, or you don't want to feel arrogant, or you don't want to feel prideful. Sometimes using privilege can be framed as like a negative thing. And obviously we have all seen experiences or examples of people using their privilege negatively. I would like to issue a challenge to people who are specifically white to use their privilege a little bit more effectively. And what I mean by that is be a little unruly, be a little disorderly. For legal purposes, don't commit crimes, don't do anything illegal. But as a white person, you have a lot more wiggle room to be an uncomfortable person, to speak your mind, express your opinion, say what you think is unfair or not okay. And it's uncomfortable. It absolutely is uncomfortable. I don't want to pretend as if like it's super easy to overcome that discomfort, but I fear a lot of you aren't doing enough to overcome that discomfort. And I think you could do more. I think you could do more to utilize your privilege, be a little bit more of a like cool, chill person, and like make sure that the people around you aren't being mistreated. I want to validate the real challenge that comes with having to build this skill. Do it anyway. Give yourself the space and time to learn, but put in the effort. No one's gonna come and save us, our big old fat mess that we've created. So we need to start building the skills to like clean it up ourselves. First off, I'm gonna say go read the book How to Be Anti-Racist by Ibram Kendi. He has like a specific definition, like a square of like the highest level of privilege is like a straight white cis man, basically. If you still have one of those descriptors, you still have some level of privilege more than a person who doesn't. So for instance, if you were cis versus otherwise, you have more privilege then. And so when I talk about privilege, I borrow that idea. I like that idea. As a person who's enfolded all of those lines, I am able to be a person that can push on social norms in more ways and in more safe ways than maybe someone who is not in my position. But the point I'm trying to make is that you don't have to be a straight white man to still be able to use your privilege in a way that's effective. If you are anything within what Ibram says is within that square, you have a chance to use that privilege in some capacity. So if you're cis, if you're straight, if you're white, if you're a man, I encourage you to see how you could broaden that horizon. Privilege, it can be those things that Ibram said, but it also can be money, it can be education, it can be resources, it can be connections, it can be relationships. It takes work and it might be a little bit inconvenient, but like those are things in which you can do to actually leverage some sort of meaningful movement. The path comes with a lot of people saying, hey, this is not okay, and pushing on that. It's going to come with resistance. It's going to come with people thinking that advocates are being too hostile or probably too antagonistic. That's kind of par for the course. Like that's welcome to the game. Like this is the advocacy space. It may be argued that it's a little bit too intense to frame our current situation as war, but I'm gonna be so bold to say that at least there's combat happening. And it's really important to know your place, to understand where you sit in this battle, in this conflict. It's important to know that there are real forces that are working against you. It's also important to know there are real forces that are working in your favor. But we are kind of past the point in history, I would say, where we can reliably be like, oh, I didn't know better, or to be kind of ignorant about certain things. But the time has passed as far as things go of fence sitters. We're past the time where we can ignore our place in this conflict. The conflict is here. It's happening around us. We can ignore it at our peril, or we can decide to accept it, do something about it, understand our role in it, and try to navigate. This is all great, Taylor. You've said a lot of great things, but like, what do I do with all of this information? Pick one thing. Just pick something. I know there's a lot of problems going on, and I know that it feels like all of our attention should be on every single thing that's going on. But one of the pieces of advice that I have gotten consistently throughout my advocacy space, and just my experience as a clinician, is that we can't do everything all at once. It's okay to just pick one thing. That is worthy. That is a worthy enough endeavor to pick one thing, take your time with it, and like learn, grow, build skills, give it a shot, be messy, and go until you can't, and then pick the next, and then pick the next, and pick the next. We know enough to know how to instigate change. I seldom make promises, but I feel very strongly that you'll find plenty of people. You'll find plenty of wonderful, fantastic, eager, motivated, passionate people who want to do the same things that you want to do, and who want to change the world in the same way that you want to change the world, and who want to help people in the same way that you want to help people. I wish you luck. I hope you do it. You'll do better than you think. All of this to say, my friends, I really hope that this does something helpful for you, that this gives you some level of direction. I hope that we work together to try to make a world a better place, especially for our queer siblings, the queer people here who've done so much to make the world a better place for them. So, as always, stay alive, stay safe, stay gay, and I will see you later.